My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to share with you the story of a woman whose courage 1400 years ago still echoes through the corridors of history. A woman who teaches us that some principles are worth more than breathing itself. A woman who was not a queen, not a warrior, not someone born into privilege. She was an elderly woman, a former slave, a mother, and yet she became the first person in Islamic history to give her life for faith. Her name was Sumayya Bint Khayyat, and her story will shake you to your core. My dear brothers and sisters, peace be upon you. In a world where we struggle to stand up for truth even behind a keyboard, where we hesitate to speak up when someone is wronged right in front of us, where we fear losing our jobs, our reputation, or our comfort, I want to take you back 1400 years to the scorching desert of Makkah. I want you to meet a woman who had nothing by the standards of this world, yet she had everything that mattered. This is not just a historical story, this is a mirror. This is a test for you and me, because when you hear what Sumayya endured, you'll be forced to ask yourself, what am I willing to stand for? What do I truly believe in? And when the pressure comes, when the test arrives, will I buckle or will I stand? The beginning, a life of struggle. Sumayya was born into slavery. Let that sink in for a moment. She had no freedom, no rights, no voice. She was the property of someone else, but she was eventually freed and married a man named Yasir. Together, they had a son named Iman. They were a small family, humble, unknown, living on the margins of Meccan society. And then something happened that would change their lives forever. A man began preaching a message in Mecca. A message that said, there is only one God and he does not share his throne with idols made of stone. A message that said, the rich and the poor, the master and the slave, the powerful and the weak, all are equal before their creator. A message that said, you will be held accountable for how you live, for how you treat others, for the truth you accept or reject. This message was revolutionary. And Sumayya, this elderly woman who had lived a lifetime of hardship, heard it, and her heart recognized the truth immediately. She accepted Islam. Her husband Yasir accepted. Their son Ammar accepted. They became among the very first Muslims. But here's what you need to understand. Being among the first meant being among the most vulnerable. The test begins. The leaders of Makkah were not pleased. These were powerful men who had built their wealth and status on the backs of others, who controlled society through fear and oppression. And now this message of Islam was threatening everything they stood for. So they launched a campaign of torture. And who do you think they targeted? Not the powerful, not those with protection. They went after the weak, the slaves, the marginalized. They went after people like Sumayya and her family because they thought these people would break easily. Every single day under the burning sun of the Arabian desert, Sumayya, Yasir and Ammar were dragged out and tortured. They were beaten, they were starved, they were made to lie on the scorching sand while rocks were placed on their chests. The heat alone was unbearable. The thirst was crushing. The physical pain was unimaginable, and all they had to do to make it stop was say, we reject this new message, we go back to worshipping the idols. Just words, just a few words, and the torture would end, the strength of faith. But here's what makes this story so powerful. Sumayya refused. This elderly woman, this former slave, this mother who could barely stand, looked her oppressors in the eye and refused to compromise. She refused to trade her faith for comfort. She refused to sell her truth for temporary relief. And one day the leader of the oppressors, Abu Jahl, one of the cruelest men in Meccan society, came to the place where Sumayya was being tortured. He was frustrated. He was angry. How dare this insignificant woman defy him? How dare she refuse to submit? He mocked her faith. He insulted her beliefs. He demanded that she renounce Islam. And Sumayya, with whatever strength she had left, responded with defiance. She stood firm, and in a fit of rage, Abu Jahl took his spear and killed her right there. Sumayya became the first martyr of Islam, the first person to give her life for this faith. What this means for us. Now, I want you to pause for a moment. I want you to really think about what you just heard. This woman had every reason to give up. She was old, she was in pain, she had a family she loved. She could have thought, God knows what's in my heart. I'll just say the words to survive, and I'll keep my faith inside. But she didn't, because she understood something that we've forgotten today. She understood that faith is not just what you carry in your heart. Faith is what you're willing to stand for when standing costs you everything. How many of us today struggle to wake up for morning prayer? How many of us find it difficult to fast when we're just a little hungry? How many of us hesitate to wear our faith openly because we're worried about what people will think? And I'm not saying this to shame anyone. I'm saying this to wake us up. Because Sumayya's story is not just about her. It's about what human beings are capable of when they connect to something greater than themselves. She didn't have the Quran memorized. She didn't have Islamic centers or support groups, online communities. She had raw, pure conviction. She had certainty that what she believed in was worth everything. The legacy lives on. After Sumayya was martyred, her husband Yasir was also killed. 2 parents gone. And their son Ammar had to carry that weight. But you know what? He didn't break either. He continued in the faith and he back up. Me, one of the great companions, one of the heroes of Islam, the blood of Sumayya watered the seeds of this faith. Her sacrifice became the foundation upon which generations of believers stood when later Muslims faced their own test, their own trial, their own moments of, do I stand or do I fall? They remembered Sumayya, and here we are, 1400 years later, still telling her story, still inspired by her strength, still challenged by her example. The question for you, so let me ask you, what are you willing to stand for? I'm not asking you to be a martyr. I'm asking you something much simpler. Are you willing to stand for truth in your workplace when everyone else is lying? Are you willing to stand for justice when someone is being treated unfairly? Are you willing to pray your 5 daily prayers even when it's inconvenient? Are you willing to give charity when you'd rather spend that money on yourself? Are you willing to speak kindly when someone has angered you? These are small tests compared to what Sumayya faced. But they're tests nonetheless. Because here's the reality. We are all being tested. Every single day. The test may not involve physical torture, but they're tests of our character, our integrity, our faith. And every time we face a choice between comfort and principle, between what's easy and what's right, we're answering the question, what do I truly believe in? Sumayya's story teaches us that real strength is not in your muscles. It's not in your wealth. It's not in your status. Real strength is in your unshakable connection to truth, to God, to purpose. My brothers and sisters, I want to leave you with this. Don't let Sumayya's sacrifice be in vain. Don't let her story be just another inspirational tale that you hear and forget. Let it change you. Let it challenge you. Let it push you to be better. Starting today, I want you to make one commitment. Just one. Choose one area of your life where you know you've been compromising, where you've been taking the easy path, where you've been silent when you should have spoken, where you've been weak when you should have been strong, and make a decision to change it. Maybe it's starting your prayers on time. Maybe it's standing up against gossip in your community. Maybe it's being honest in your business dealings, even when dishonesty is more profitable. Maybe it's treating your parents with respect, even when they frustrate you. Maybe it's controlling your anger. Maybe it's giving up a bad habit that's been controlling you. Whatever it is, commit to it. Write it down. Make it real. And every time you feel like giving up, every time you feel like it's too hard, I want you to remember Sumayya. Remember this elderly woman lying on the burning sand, tortured beyond imagination, and she still didn't break. If she could do that, you can wake up for morning prayer. You can control your tongue. You can be patient with your family. You can stand for truth. And when you do away, you make that choice to stand firm. Despite the difficulty, you're not just helping yourself. You're honoring her legacy. You're joining a chain of believers that stretches back 1400 years. You're proving that faith is not dead, that conviction still matters, that there are still people willing to stand for something greater than themselves. The story of Sumayya bin Khayyat is not just history, it's a living challenge. It's a question mark hanging over each of our lives. When the test comes, how will you respond? I pray that we all find within ourselves even a fraction of the strength that Sumayya showed. I pray that when we face our trials, big or small, we remember her example. I pray that we live lives that would make her proud, lives that honor the sacrifice she made. She gave everything so that this faith could survive and thrive. The least we can do is live it with dignity, with courage, with conviction. May we all be among those who stand firm. May we all be among those who never compromise on truth. And may we all be reunited with Sumayya and the righteous in the highest levels of paradise. Remember, your test is coming. It may be tomorrow, it may be next week, it may be years from now, but it's coming. And when it does, you'll have to choose Choose to be like Sumayya. Choose strength over comfort. Choose truth over convenience. Choose faith over fear. That's your call to action. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, right now. Stand up, stand firm, stand for something. May peace and blessings be upon you all. Ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you for listening. And may peace and blessings be upon you all.